2, 1.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another Streamer Spotlight from Streamlabs. I'm Matt, aka Surly, and I'm here with CoinFuryTV, our most recent choice for Spotlight. We stopped in randomly to his channel when we were gifting some subs, and not only was he very grateful, and we really appreciate that, but he is an incredible streamer and host. Usually doing, is this right, Eastern times 9 to 5 typically?
Eastern, technically I'm 12 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
Whenever I feel like ending.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I start noon Eastern.
Nice. So I sent you questions I was going to ask you in advance, but that just reminded me to ask something real quick because I'm personally wondering, what do you do to prep for streams? Because that's something that I always kind of, I don't want to say struggled with, but when I was streaming, it's like, you know, I have a much better stream, kind of like a radio host, if I at least have some bullet, like talking points, not necessarily like I'm going to do it like a news broadcast or anything, but like, you know, if I'm like, I'm struggling to come up with a topic or I'm having a hard night or anything like that, I'd always have something like that, but more often than not, I'd forget. So
honestly, when I'm starting, it's full panic. I mean, I still to this day, I get stage fright, right? I mean, like you're turning on a camera, you're expecting some people to be there, at least once you have a little bit of growth. But like, honestly, for me, it's a mug of coffee, and I'll be totally honest with you. People are already in my chat these days by the time I'm ready to go. So I'm already talking them. They're already like, you got this coin. You're like, you know, did you go pee? They always ask me that. and
are you ready to have a successful night, brother?
Yeah. It kind of loosens me up so that I'm ready to go. But like to this day, the stage fright of turning on my camera is always there. But when you at the beginning, it's tough. Yeah, you know, it's still to this day. I get a little bit of like pre-stream jitters, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, even at the very end of before I retired, it was like, don't get me wrong, there's some nights I would go to and it feeling 100% natural, ready to do it. Yep. And then there's nights where I feel like I'm getting on stage for the first time. I have no idea why. But I mean, I guess like even, I would assume superstars in the music world probably still get jitters, you know?
I would believe so.
I mean, if not, they're robots, I guess.
Maybe they are.
That's true. You never know. World's a weird place. AI is getting crazy.
It is. It's scary crazy. In a good way, but also scary.
Yeah. Just watched too much Terminator 2 as a kid. To get into the questions that we had that we talked about, so let me start with a really easy one. Where did your name come from? CoinFuryTV. Obviously, I know where the TV came from, but where did CoinFury come from?
The TV was there just because we wanted to have the same kind of thing flow through all the socials, right?
Sure.
But when it came to it, I was always Coin. Goes all the way back to the old 1999 Everquest days.
Oh, Everquest guy. I'm an Ultima Online guy myself.
Coin. Yeah. And when I started streaming, it was late 2019, October 2019, and it was right around the re-release of Classic World of Warcraft that Blizzard did.
Nice.
And that was big. I was always like back in the day with WoW. I was always a protection warrior, but this time I decided, hey, let's go Fury. And so I started streaming, and I was literally a WoW streamer. That has since changed, but so the Fury actually is almost non-relevant these days because I was a Fury warrior. I always went by CoinFuryTV. It's really just the name. Yeah, everyone just calls me Coin these days.
Did you say where you got it from on the very beginning, though?
I played a rogue.
Oh, okay.
My name was Coin Toss. I have no idea where the name came from.
Okay, no, but I mean, like, half and half who give you a chance. Yeah, I get that. Okay, cool.
Stuck, so I've been Coin like pretty much ever since.
I gotta ask you something. How are you? You have a monitor with a camera right above it? Is that what you're doing?
I do. Yeah.
You're doing a really good job of the eye contact thing. For me, I've got an offset digital SLR camera right here because it doesn't fit directly behind my computer. So
I got a Logitech Brio, like right here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You right here. So
nice. Okay.
Normal stream though, I read chat over here, so people are used to me going like this.
I mean, I think there's no right or wrong to that. I mean, if you look at giant streamers like Tim the Tatman, he's never looking at the camera and he's kind of doing this the whole time. So that's to each its own. Yeah, exactly. And I don't think it takes away from any kind of personality or anything. I was asking because you were doing such a good job looking at the camera that I was like, do you have some sort of crazy setup where it's like lower than it should be or something like that? Because that'd be cool, right? If we could figure out how to integrate a webcam into the monitor so that it hides behind everything, that would be killer.
I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
I mean, at least somebody's probably made it in a garage somewhere and is using
somewhere
it. Yeah.
in the garage, yeah, some prototype.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when did you first start actually live streaming? Did you start live streaming like at the beginning of World of Warcraft Classic?
No.
Or the re-release of it?
October 2019. I remember it because it was right around Halloween.
Oh, very cool.
And that's where I celebrate my yearly. Like Halloween is my yearly. I've been streaming another year on whatever, Twitch usually.
Was almost 6 years then.
Yeah, almost 6 years.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you.
When did you get partnered?
Partner was August 2021.
So about 2 years in.
About 2 years.
That's a good run. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, first application, boop, instantly. I was happy. It was kind of low key. I wasn't telling everybody about it. We were just.
You were the rarity.
Knew about it, and they knew, and like we were like, if you know, you know. But like I just kept it low key, and then one day we were partner.
So you didn't have to do the cliche. No offense to people who do it, but the cliche partner push or anything. You didn't like rally the troops, or
I did not want to do that. No.
Fair enough.
People who knew that I was close, they knew.
Mm-hmm.
But I was a big believer in keeping organic
natural
people there, not having people just supporting you just to hit partner.
Totally.
Because it's gonna actually hurt you afterwards, most likely, right? You're gonna hit partner, and that hype is gonna fade.
Yeah.
I didn't want to build that hype because I wanted to keep natural.
No, yeah. Hey, I'm a firm believer in do whatever it takes to get you to where you need to be. Absolutely. I mean, whatever it takes, that's awesome. I do worry that the idea of, say, a partner push would basically mean like even your fans who are like once a month stop in are going to be like, let's support our friend and get in there, and then your numbers are going to drastically decline. But you know, that's not the case with everybody. Just something for those of you who are trying to reach partner at any point, it is something to consider. Consider all like consequences to things like that. Let's see here. What made you want to start?
My wife.
Really?
It's an interesting story. So, back in 2019 when I started, I actually lost my job. I was I lost my income. It was
a familiar tale, unfortunately.
The pandemic was starting. Commissions dried up. I had to do something, and I was stressful. I was stressing. I was anxious, and my wife was like, why don't you start streaming? Because she was dabbling in a little bit with the WoW without a camera, kind of streaming with her friend. She only did a couple and then kind of stopped. But then she said, hey, why don't you do this? And I think her reason behind that was to try to get my mind off what we were going to do, because it was a really rough time.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know how I was going to provide for my family. So I think at the time she was like, hey, why don't you go stream and we'll figure it out, right? Like it'll be something to take your mind off while you're stressing and try to figure out something.
Bravo. That's a killer wife right there. Wow, that's super supportive. I'm very fortunate there too. My wife definitely, like, don't get me wrong, like when you end up streaming nights at the beginning like I did, there were definitely some times where it was like, are you kidding? Coming to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning? I'm going to work in an hour. But you know, we're resilient and great friends as well as partners. I'm very fortunate as well. Man. Having that kind of support system is, I mean, don't get me wrong, like it's possible without it, but having somebody that is like, I'm in your corner for it. There are times when you're trying to make something out of streaming that you really need that, because it's too easy to get in your own head and give up on yourself. Even if you've made progress. I'm not talking about, you know, the people who are struggling with 3 viewers after a month. Like, you get a year in and you're only sitting at like 20, 25 viewers. It is very upsetting at times, because you're expecting to be like, I want to feel like I walk into a party that's happy to see me every time. You know?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good to have someone as your back.
It's a big mental toll on streaming. It really is, and it's not talked about a lot, to be honest.
I respectfully disagree, because we think about it all the time, especially as like an ex-streamer and being in this world. One of the main things we do when we talk to people like yourself, things like that, I think that I'm speaking just from personal experience.
Right,
everybody can say their own there. It is definitely one of those things that I think people are really aware of. I think the people that it's not talked about to enough are the people who are getting into it for the first time.
Fair.
And are going, oh yeah.
That's the way I looked at it. Yeah,
and that's easy to do, because streaming, if you've never, like, you know, been involved in the world outside of watching them casually, streaming really comes off as something that if you're you know, you've got a good personality and you're gregarious, this is no problem. But those people, myself included at the very beginning, never thought about what it was like to go to a party with like 2 quiet introverts and you're trying to get them to hang out and have some fun. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. But no, I agree. I think it should be talked about endlessly. I think it is super important to consider that. And the mental health of streamers is really important because it is such an unusual and it's often, even if you have viewership, it's an often isolating thing because it's such a rare thing to find somebody who does that as their job.
That's why I'm very grateful to have a very supporting wife that I talk to and decompress with after every single stream and before. It's really nice. It helps.
That's awesome.
Helps a lot. Yeah.
That is really great, man. I love to hear that. So let me also ask you, before I go to the next question, I wanted to ask, you said you played Everquest. Do you ever touch it anymore? Does it still exist? I haven't looked at Everquest in forever.
It does. It's still on Steam, but I don't play that version. I actually play, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say it. I think they're authorized by Daybreak to have this, but there's a little community.
Don't shout out their name just in case.
Got it.
Yeah.
It's a little community that I play on, and a couple of my community, like a couple of my.
It's like a private server, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's like a private server. And they play on it, and it's a classic experience, and it's really fun. It's really fun. So I still dabble in it a little bit. Yes, my wife and I.
I've watched that happen too. I'm an Ultima Online guy, and when I was playing that, you know, they're definitely not sanctioned, but they're not making any money, so you know, EA is not. It doesn't have an issue with them existing. But there's private, what we call shards, which are servers, and then I still play on the official servers, but I just rejoined again probably 4 years ago, and it's only kind of checking in every once in a while at this point for me. It's mostly just to like get a serotonin boost for nostalgia.
Yeah, that's literally it for me. I met my wife on Everquest.
Amazing.
Way back in the day, and we were still together, but like, so for me it's a little more than just a game, but yeah, the nostalgia is what it's the biggest reason for me.
Oh yeah,
I hadn't played it for about 10 years, maybe 8, and I just recently started dabbling back into it, like as a getaway from stream kind of game. It's been nice in the free time, the limited free time that we have. So yeah, it's been really nice.
So that's a question I didn't plan to ask you that I find really interesting too. So working in the streaming world, and even when I was streaming, I find that it goes in waves for what I want to do when it comes to gaming. Like I'll find like mindless, like maybe a new Call of Duty to just like turn my brain off and play that sometimes when they come out. Or I'll play Ultima Online, and then like sometimes like the flavor of the month game, if it comes out, my friends are into it, I'll join it. But I find that I play games much less than the average gamer because I sit and think about this type of stuff all day, every day.
All day, every day. You're always on. That is very fair. Yeah, for me, I literally looked at my wife one day when I was starting to stream, and I said, this might affect our gaming outside of streaming one day. I might want to game less.
So she's still playing stuff regularly herself?
About as much as she always did, maybe a little less these days.
Sure.
Because the only gaming we actually did was usually together. She's also playing a little, dabbling back in Everquest a little bit as well. So yeah, but I mean, when it comes to gaming, like she plays Rust with me sometimes off stream. She plays Everquest with me off stream. Sometimes some Enshrouded, mostly survival games these days because they're easy to get in and out of, right? You do what you want, play for as long as you want, and then you get out of there, and there's no online something's happening while other than Rust, of course. But
yeah,
like,
sure.
Yeah, so like we still game together quite a bit, actually.
That is kind of how you have to fill the gaps when it's either your job to actually play games like a streamer, or if you work in the industry and you just get kind of tired of thinking about gaming all the time, is the ones that you can hop in, have a good time, leave, and it's not like things are ticking by or anything like that you're missing. Yeah, you kind of need to find that balance.
When I look at games, I look at games from a personal, I'm playing off-stream experience, and then I look at games from a on-stream, how my viewers are going to like it.
Of course,
so games I play on stream are games that I'm a big fan of. The reason why I stream is to make your day better. Right?
Sure.
If you're spending your time with me, I'm grateful. I'm going to make you laugh. I'm going to make you have the best day possible, even if it's only 1% better.
You have a very positive outlook, and I noticed that just in, you know, not only watching the bits of your stream, but talking to you when we were setting this all up. You are a very positive person, And that's infectious, man. I love seeing that. There's that's actually something that's never talked about in streaming. Is now people will talk about that they have role models or things like that are streamers, but there are a lot of the successful streamers that you look at that aren't people who are like, oh, I got popular because I am a freakishly skilled gamer or whatever the case may be. The people who are personality-based streamers, aside from those who are maybe controversial, are kind of keeping people around because they make their day brighter.
I mean, I when I look at it, like, why else are you on stream?
Valid. That's a very valid point.
You're there to have people find you, and why are they there?
Mm-hmm.
They're there to provide something to them, right? You provide a service, and that service is helping them get through the day or whatever it is. For me, it's making them smile, making their day at least 1% better. I say that on stream all the time. You take
Good man.
I will do my best to make your day at least 1% better just by being there. And I think that's what we should strive to do. I'm also a big believer in focusing on the good in life, right? You only live once. We have one life.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like to get hung up on negatives because the rain will never last forever, right? The sun always does eventually come through the clouds.
Depending on what state you live in, sure.
Things, right?
Yeah, that's great, man. I really like that a lot. That's a great take. So I have a very long question from one of our people at Streamlabs that wanted me to ask this, and I did not memorize it, so I'm going to read this off to you.
Read it away.
So much about streaming is having a personality that people want to come back to and watch over and over. And I think just by watching your stream for 5 minutes, you can tell you are very endearing and personable and engaging with your community. And it feels like it comes off very naturally to you. And a lot of people, I think, underestimate how important it is when they first get into streaming. So I'm curious if that is something that you found challenging when you first started, and if you had any pointers for streamers who might be struggling to find their voice. And to add on to that question, did you always have this idea? I mean, have you always been like such a the world will always end up being better type of mentality, or was this something that maybe streaming brought out more in you?
Well, that's a big question.
That is an incredibly long question. I will scold him.
No, it's totally fine. It's a fair question. It's a tough one to answer, but still to this day, as I hinted on earlier, still to this day, turning on my camera, I still get the stage fright, you know, and I don't think that's ever going to go away.
Sure.
And if you're somebody who struggles with that, I think all you can do is just focus on the fact that something good is coming, right? You're going live for a reason. People might be there, or you're gonna have fun, or you're gonna, hopefully that's the point, right? You're doing it for a reason, and find strength in that. The next part of the question was like, I think you hinted on something like having trouble finding your voice as a streamer.
Mm-hmm.
And how some people have a natural personality for it. I'm a big believer in that. And this might be a hard pill to swallow for some people. Some people are not made to be streamers.
Oh,
they're just
yes,
not.
absolutely.
And you'll know right away. Like you'll know. What I suggest you do is you watch your own VODs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Watch your own VODs and think to yourself while you're watching, which might be hard, like looking at yourself in pictures. It's not.
Yeah, who likes hearing their own voice? I think that is something that you get used to as a streamer, though, because I remember I have an unusually deep voice for my frame and stuff, and especially as like a 12-year-old, I had this voice coming out of me, and I would watch videos and be like, turn this off.
Turn it off.
And now I watch and I'm like, oh yeah, I know exactly what I sound like because I've been doing this forever.
I still can't look at my own clips some days. I'm just like, I tell my wife, I'm like, post it. It's probably great.
Oh yeah.
You know? But like, yeah, watch your own VODs and ask yourself, would I watch me? What makes this video? What makes this recording? What makes this live? What makes this stream? What's your hook? What do I offer that no other streamer out there offers? And if you can figure that out, that's your voice. And one thing I would say is stay true to who you are.
True.
Don't ever try to pretend to be somebody you're not. But when you figure out who you are, which some people are still looking for, but when you figure that out,
we all are constantly trying to figure out our perfectness, whatever we want.
Yeah, when you figure it out, turn that knob up, turn that energy knob up. So tap into that
well
who
said.
You are and turn it up. Turn that energy up, because that's what people want to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
They want you to be you, but they want to see the best of you. So like when I'm on stream, I'm naturally have a bunch of energy. That's just who I am. But like I turn it up.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what we do, I guess.
Yeah, sure. I mean, so my first job was, I mean, tell me how appropriate this is for streaming. My first job was a skating rink DJ. And then I bartended, not right after, but like, you know, in my 20s, I bartended for a long time. And so when I went into streaming, I realized very easily, like, oh, I'm pretty natural at knowing how to entertain people, how to speak to people. It's obviously a different ball game, but there's a lot of similarities there. Did you ever work in a public facing where you were dealing with people and cheering them up, giving them a better day? Any kind of job like that before?
I worked a bit in group health insurance. I was constantly like working with clients to try to make sure their claims were being paid out and stuff. But no, I think this is a weird one. I think the real way that I got experience doing what I do these days and making it easier for me is I was a guild leader in a lot of games. I was a community builder naturally.
Gotcha.
I had already done that. I knew how to recruit people. I knew how to keep them happy. I knew how to place them in certain segments. And I think that actually gave me a massive leg up on getting into the streaming industry. So I already knew how to like build a community. And
good for you, man. That's awesome.
It's a weird like thing. Like I wouldn't put it on a resume.
No,
like,
I can actually relate to that. When I was a late teenager, I was like a scene kid going to metal shows and stuff growing up.
Right.
I ran a really large local music forum when I was younger, and I've always liked community building. You know, if I didn't get into this, I probably would be working in a situation where you're like, all right, there's a game, and I'm going to be the person who is like setting up events and things like that.
Yeah.
You know? That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah. So you know that you had there was something inside you that knew that like this is going to speak to me. Your wife did.
She was the one that told me to do it to take my mind off of things. And like, I think maybe she knew. I didn't know at the time. But
had you not even tried streaming before that? She was like, I see this in you.
Well, maybe. Or she was really, actually, that's a good question for her. Like, did she know that I might spark something? Or did she just really only do it to like try to get my mind off the stress that I was going through with unemployment?
Right. Yeah. I mean, obviously it could be a combination. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she knew who I was. She still does. So she married me for a reason. But yeah, I think the bottom line is I think that being able to like run and manage a guild for several years in various games really kind of maybe helped with growing a community on Twitch.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I think that's where I tap my knowledge to.
Quick question, not on the list, but are you going to go to TwitchCon?
No.
Bummer. I was hoping we could see each other.
It is a big bummer, and I'll be honest with you. I'm legally blind. I have something called Retinitis Pigmentosa. It makes me have like imagine putting like a McDonald's straw up to your eye and closing one of your other eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally how I see it. I get very overwhelmed these days by people that I can't like clearly see and stuff. So it's very tough. It's something I mention maybe once a day on stream, but it's not something that defines me. It's something I have.
Sure.
And on occasion creates unique situations on stream that are hilarious. So
that's great.
It's like a unique strength.
Does it make gaming more difficult at all, or is that focused enough in one place?
I have definitely stopped playing certain games. I built my channel. I like to say I built my channel on Rust.
Okay.
Right. Originally, I played World of Warcraft for about 6 months.
That's actually what I was going to ask you next. Is like, what did you start streaming, and where are you at now?
Yeah, I mean, to tap into that, I started on World of Warcraft. I then immediately started going to Rust, which has a unique story behind it. But that's where I started seeing my growth, believe it or not. Because before that in WoW was like guildmates and friends that were like really watching. I think they just watched my stream because they wanted to see them on the screen DPSing. You know?
Okay,
so
yeah.
I feel like that was the original kind of thing.
They're like, look, I'm semi-famous too. Yeah.
They're like, look, I'm on TV or something, right? So
gotcha.
Like, but the bottom line is, yeah, I moved to Rust, and that's where I started seeing actual growth in streaming, and I liked Rust. And then I started getting away from Rust and started broadening into more survival games. Games like, what was the first? Like Subnautica.
I love Subnautica.
I love.
Did you play any DayZ?
I have not. I have actually not played DayZ. It is one game everyone asks me every day to play. It's
cool. It really is. It's gotten into like kind of a weird world now, not in a bad way, but it's like because it's so dated now, it doesn't necessarily make the game worse, but like the private servers. You got to find like a good private server that's got a rule set around it. Because if you play just the regular game, it's often just pretty dead or just brutal, where people are just murdering newbies over and over and over. So,
well, as a Rust player, I get that part.
Yeah, there's definitely some overlap in the type of game those are.
I keep saying I'll try it. I publicly saying I'll try it. I don't have anything scheduled, but at some point I do want to try it. I think.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see what lines up. You know, so many good games releasing right now. It's like I don't have time for everything. Like I try. It's like, when are you gonna play this? When are you gonna play this? Oblivion's out. Like ugh.
I feel like it comes in waves, right? It's like you're drinking from a fire hose 1 minute, and there's like 10 games you're never gonna get through. And
then you're in a drought.
And then there's like, God, I'm sick of everything right now. Yep. I get that completely.
That actually that's the thing. That's a very common thing for me.
Yeah. I mean, streaming full time, that definitely is a thing you have to learn to live with, because very few other people are playing so many games. Because like, even if you say you don't have a job and you're able to just only play games, nobody really does just that. And I mean, some do, I guess, but the majority of people do not. And taking those breaks actually really helps you with like, oh, okay, now I can come back refreshed to the game or whatever.
Right.
Can't really do that if you're a streamer, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, you can and you can't. I mean, streaming is what you make of it. You schedule.
Valid.
Time,
Very
right?
true.
If you're able to. Some people don't have the ability. Like they got family, they have a job, then they stream, and I get that. So you're on when you're on. Right?
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, if you're able to, and schedule your schedule to benefit you, right? To like make sure you're the best possible you that's on stream.
Yep. That's the whole point of being your own boss.
Yeah. I guess you. Well, no, my wife's my boss. Let's be honest.
Oh, valid. Yes, I can relate to that too.
She's the general manager. You know, as my mods would say, some of them they say, "Well, we're just gonna ask the boss." You know, so you know.
I love it.
It's good.
That's awesome that she has a presence in your community and they all know her.
Huge. I'll be honest. Behind the scenes, she's responsible for like a lot. Yeah, like when I'm not live, we're I don't want to say the word working.
Yeah, sure.
We're thinking.
It's always in your mind. Yeah.
It's always something we're thinking about. Always, how can we make the experience better for the people who actually give their time to us?
She quite literally is your general manager. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, like almost literally to the T what the job is. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what game are you streaming as of late?
Grounded this week.
Okay.
Actually, was very unique. I love Grounded. It's an incredible game. If you guys have not played like Grounded, like
I have not. Yeah.
It's good. But so the big thing is for this week is I had my wife record custom integration lines. So somebody cheered a certain amount of bits on Twitch. It would have her voice come on and say, "Hey, Coin, I need you to go do this or do that or stop and do this." A big one was stop what you're doing and immediately stare at the sky for 1 minute. And that was very popular. And so I'd be in combat with something, and somebody in my chat would hit me with that. And
are you doing that IRL or in the game?
No, it's in the game.
Oh, okay.
It's all interaction in the game.
Okay.
You know, while I'm on camera and stuff.
Yeah.
But like it was very fun. And that we're wrapping that up this week. And I think next week we're going back to Ark Survival Ascended. Gonna tame
Good
some
choice.
dinosaurs.
You definitely do have a particular type of game. That's awesome.
Yeah, I usually like survival games, but these
I
days
do
I've been
too.
dabbling in everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the game. I mean, and part of the freedom of being a streamer. I actually really love survival games though, because even ones that have a very strict what you're supposed to accomplish, it's usually open world, and it gives you enough freedom to figure out exactly what you want. Lots of customization. It really speaks to me.
Love it. Yeah.
So you told me that, you know, you play a little bit of games and stuff with your wife when you're not streaming, but what do you do other than thinking about streaming? What do you guys do for fun in your downtime?
In our free time?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, valid.
So,
okay.
Fair. We like watching TV. We on occasion immerse ourselves in good and binge on shows, like good shows.
Yeah.
But we have a Scottish Terrier we love spending time with. And
nice.
we try to get as much sun as we can on the weekends. We go into our backyard and relax. We are at the end of the day still kind of introverts. You know, so we like spending time together and, you know, family and stuff like that. But yeah, it's mainly like gaming together, trying to get some fresh air.
Yep.
And most importantly, like sometimes we like a good television show.
Same.
You know?
You're describing me exactly, man. Yeah. Have you watched anything that's notable lately?
I've been catching my wife up on the Punisher series because I know Disney just released the new Daredevil season, and we want to watch that. So like,
are you talking about the one with the guy from Walking Dead, right?
John Bernthal. Yes.
Yeah, that's his name. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, man, everything he touches turns to gold. It's crazy. Like
I
even movies that are like, this is not going to be great. It's like, he's in it. This is good.
He's in it. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't remember what I watched with him recently in it, but it was good. I've been catching up on The Last of Us. Not catching up. They're releasing it now. I watched White Lotus. I watch a lot of those. Oh, I love The Bear. Yeah, I actually, the guy who's the main character, I'm terrible at celebrity names. I actually got to hang out and have a drink with him when I was in Los Angeles one time. This is back when he was on Shameless, before The Bear. But yeah,
we loved Shameless.
Yeah. He's a great actor. I'm glad to see what he's doing.
I was excited to see him in The Bear. I was like, oh,
me too.
I don't remember his name either. So
Jeremy something. Yeah, I think I'm almost 100% it's Jeremy something. He's a super chill guy, but we're also foodies. I lived in San Francisco for a while, and we actually did it during COVID, and during COVID they built parklets everywhere. Right. So because of that being outside, we were able to eat at a lot of places that usually had like a 6-month wait. So that was a lot of fun, and The Bear really spoke to us about that too.
Cool. Yeah. I love that show.
It's great. I need to maybe go in for a rewatch. It's been a little bit. So what's next for you in streaming? You've been talking about what's going on this week, but do you have any big plans? Any upcoming events?
I'm turning 40.
Oh, dude, we're the same age. What up?
Yep. 85.
86 here. Yep.
That'll be kind of big. I'm not gonna tell anyone what I'm doing. It's gonna be a surprise.
Okay. When is that though?
July 16th.
Oh, that's really coming up, man.
Yeah.
Happy early birthday, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a big one. So that's something on stream, and then as for what future goals I have, I'll be honest with you, I don't really like to set goals in streaming.
That's fair.
I think it's unhealthy.
Yeah.
Because streaming is actually a day-to-day thing. You don't know what's ahead of you. You go live. You might have a plan, but you sometimes deviate from that plan. Or I think you just kind of, as for me, what's next in streaming, kind of to hold on to what I have and grow from that.
That's fair. I think it's some
new friends.
I think it kind of goes in waves, right? Like depending on your size. When you're struggling at like say the 5 to 10 viewership, and you're like, I really want chat to be moving like all the time so that I always have something to go off of, things like that. It's a little bit easier and not going to screw you up in the future if you don't reach that goal. It's set like, okay, I need to make sure I'm marketing myself well and things like that, and set little like where you want to be, and then reevaluate what worked and what didn't at times. But I do think that once you hit the point where you're comfortable with it and it's giving you what you want every time you go live, there's nothing wrong with being like, let's just see what happens, as long as you're always the type that's going to be resilient about, I played a game and everybody hated that, so I'm not doing that again, or something like that. I agree with what you're saying completely. It's nice to just listen to feedback from your audience, from other streamers, things like that. Always be resilient about it. The next thing I was going to ask you is, if someone wants to get into streaming today, what's one piece of advice you'd have for them to help them be successful? From the ground floor, man. That's a tough question. That's
a tough one, because to this day, I still don't know that answer. I don't think anyone does, really.
I don't think there's one answer for it either.
There's no one like gold standard, right? Everybody's unique and everybody's got to follow their own path. But I kind of hinted on this earlier. Watch your own VODs. Try to find what makes you different. What makes you stand out in a crowd of people?
What makes you engaging?
Yeah, what makes you engaging? What's going to make people want to come back? I think the biggest feedback I give to a new streamer is 2 things. Number 1, the strictest schedule you can have. We are creatures of habit, and people like to know when you're going to be live, when to expect you. So that is absolute number 1. That is something I've been a firm believer since I started.
And I would say that we were talking about things that should be talked about more, and things that aren't talked about enough. I feel like that is one of the things that almost universally everybody says too. And it makes sense, right? Like, who the hell would watch a TV show if it's coming on at random times during the day? Yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with random streams and surprising everybody or anything like that if you've got some spare time, but a strict schedule, or at least strict enough that it's going to be like within 30 minutes of the same time every day, people really appreciate that. I mean, a lot of people will make it like, especially your regulars and stuff, they make it into like, oh, this is what I do while I eat lunch or I make dinner or whatever. So work. Yep, exactly.
Yep. A lot of people that watch me, they're working and they keep me in their ear, and it actually helps them stay awake, helps them stay energized, and it helps them get their job done.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, and it keeps them smiling, because every now and then they look over and they're like, what's Coin doing? You know, like, so that's really it. But the other thing I would say is friends, family, everybody you can get them in your chat. You know, like get them in your chat. Stop engaging with them in Discord and get them in your chat.
Yeah.
Create a feeling of, even if at first it's almost fake, but it's not. They're still talking to you.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And people are going to scroll by your channel, and they're going to see a little bit of lively action, even though maybe you only have 2 viewers, and they're going to see conversations happening.
And people want to hop into that stuff. People want to talk to you. People want to talk to whoever else is there.
Yep. It's going to create actual viewership. And then eventually you can build on that. It'll either replace the friends.
That's a nice little cheat code. Yeah. I'm sometimes like, I guess I've never thought about it, but I guess when I was starting out, I felt kind of, I didn't have a Discord community yet, right? Like, so if I had already had like a group of friends on Discord that I could go, hey, come on over. It's like, you're already in the community and we're already chatting like this. Just come on over. But I didn't have that. So for me, it was like kind of weird to go, especially at my age, and you can relate to this, we're the same age. I started streaming when I was about 30. And so like most people our age didn't know what the heck live streaming was. And so when I tried to get people to do it, I felt kind of weird because they're like, I don't know what this is and things like that. I'm a little envious that you already had a little bit, because you were part of like a video game scene and stuff.
Guild, believe it or not.
And
that's the people that came into my channel most.
Oh, that's so perfect. Yeah.
I had my wife actually making other accounts to try to stimulate conversation with me.
Honestly, if I could go back in time, I would probably invest 6 months into getting very ingrained into another gaming-based community and move from there, because that really gives you a huge leg up. That's very smart.
It does. It could. It might. Nothing's ever like
guaranteed. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that could help. Yeah, significantly.
So I got to ask you the corny question at the end. If there is one Streamlabs feature that you couldn't live without, what is it?
Oh, your alerts, your dashboard on the web. It's even when Twitch released their whole new. Sorry, Twitch. You guys are great. Even when they released their whole new their whole new alert system, I stuck with you guys just because it is what I know. It is what is easy, and it works all the time. Like, it rarely breaks.
Yeah.
You guys' alert system and chatbot are just like always working.
We really appreciate that. Yeah, I think I'd agree. I don't know
what I would do if it vanished.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd be like, oh my god,
the world is ending for me. Yeah, I honestly, I can't think of something. Well, like, we offer a ton of stuff at this point, but I can't think of something that is such a staple. Like in fact, again, at my age, when I tell people, I usually start the conversation by being like, I work in video games, and they'll either be interested and then I can give them more information, or they're like, that sounds cool, next subject.
Right.
But if they're interested, the next spiel I give to somebody who I don't think knows what I'm going to be talking about is I say, like, have you ever seen live streamers? All the stuff that pops up on their screen and the software they're using is likely us or something like us.
It was for a long time. I used Streamlabs OBS. I did. I transitioned from it. I don't even remember why anymore. But once you get used to something, you kind of. I'm not a big fan of change, so I kind of like to stick to what I'm used to, and my setup has been the same for like so long. But yeah, your alerts are fantastic. Never change them. Give us more storage, because I got so many freaking alerts.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's really amazing to see what people do with it and like putting their personalities into it. It's cool that, like, you know, when you get started, you can use Streamlabs to be able to like, oh, okay, I'll put up a cool looking theme or whatever the case may be. Some cool alerts. But as your personality starts coming out in a streamer, or, you know, if it's based around the game you're playing, it's inexpensive to, if you don't know how to design yourself, it's inexpensive to go to somebody and have them made for you. You can have some really incredible stuff happen. I mean, I've seen some really impressive stuff happen, so it's very, very cool. But this has been great, man. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Do you have anything you want to shout out or anything? I know I didn't prepare you for that question, but you've got your 40th coming up in July. So that's something to look forward to, a big surprise there. But
yeah, it's crazy. Time flies.
Yeah, God, it does. Yeah.
The last 5 years since I started streaming are just a blur.
Well, you know what, man? I wasn't even streaming during it, and COVID to me, I think it messed with all of our heads. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like a really, like a different world.
It was a different world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
And it
was.
seems like it was not only yesterday, but like 10 years ago at the same time.
Yeah, I feel that. Like, it feels like it just happened, but then, like, it's a distant memory that, like,
Yeah.
that you either don't talk about or you do talk about, right? But it is what it is. There was a silver lining in that time, right? A lot of people were on their computer. I met a lot of amazing people. So I'm
me too, man.
grateful for
Yeah.
that part of it. And it is what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here we are, and all we got to look forward to do is the future, and hopefully it's bright for everybody.
That's awesome. So, well, your link will be wherever you guys are viewing this video, likely YouTube. If it's anywhere else, CoinFuryTV, just like it sounds. The link, I'm sure, is either in the description below or it's very easy to find.
Very easy.
Check him out on Twitch. Is Twitch the only platform you stream to, or do you?
No, actually, I'm
multi-stream too. Where else do you multi-stream? Just to tell everybody.
I stream to TikTok, Kick, and YouTube, but Twitch is our hub.
Yeah, it was for me too. That's great. Well, you're awesome, man. I love your personality, love your streams, and I look forward to seeing you crush it even more. And whenever I'm feeling bummed out, I'm gonna stop into your chat because you definitely make my day better. So I appreciate it, brother.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, man, this was great. I hope it's not the last time we get to talk like this. Let's talk again soon.
Anytime. I'm always around.
Love it. Yeah, me too. I live on Discord, so if you ever need anything, I'm here.
Yep. Thank you.
Yep. Have a good one, brother.